What up, what up, what up? It's RJ Fantasy Football Talk, and we back again. You know what it is. I'm riding this Jay. What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing much. Hey, here for another week. Got through by Mageddon, hopefully. How'd you do?
I went 3-3, man. I survived,
Okay.
man. So I'm just saying, man, it's tough, man. This Armageddon week stuff is terrible, man. This ain't for everybody, man. I'm trying to tell you.
Well,
So
it's over. We never have to do it again till next year. So,
I mean, is it over? Yeah, this week might be a
but
little tough
hey,
too, man.
it's a little tough, but it ain't 6 teams on bye week tough. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I see Justin. Welcome to the show. He went 4-1 this week in fantasy, and then his most importantly, he's 4-3 in second place. I in my 8 leagues, I went 2-6,
Ooh, that's
and
a
the
tough week for
craziest
you.
part about it is, I would say, yeah, it was by Mageddon, and I was missing my starters. But with the exception of one league, uh, I actually was at or above my scoring average with the bye week players I put in. But for some reason, Mageddon didn't affect anybody I played. And so, in about half of those leagues, I played against people with Jamar Chase. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about him
Yeah.
further in the show. So that did not go well for me, but it's cool. It's cool. I survived. In our pro picks, however, for those that are keeping track, it's that very handsome guy up top, who just remains dominating.
Uh,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I
So
think
you know,
I'm loyal to my team, so I'm
yeah,
gonna keep picking my boys anyway.
yeah.
It's fine. So it's
Actually,
all
that graphic is wrong. It did. Apparently, I imported the wrong one. I'm still on top, and you still came in second, but I'm actually at like 73 correct games. So yeah, that one was showing the wrong. I must have clicked on the wrong picture, but the general point is the same. I'm at
yeah,
the
it's all
top,
good.
so
Yeah,
I'm doing my thing. I'm
ain't
doing
no
my
big
thing.
deal. Hey, like I say, it's all good, man. I'm biased to my boy. So I can't lose the faithfulness. So I don't pick against him too much. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it
So
is what it is. It happens. So it's all good though, definitely.
yeah,
But we're gonna start it off, man, with some top quarterbacks this week, man.
yeah. Go
Um,
for it.
Obviously, man, Joe Barrow is top of the list. 23 or 38 for 416, three touchdowns and an interception. Big win. They had a big win this week. Big win.
Yeah,
Matt Ryan has been playing like lights out lately. 25 of 40, 336, two touchdowns. That first week was kind of head scratcher. But ever
yeah.
since then, he's been
He's
playing
been
well.
on point. And now that Cal Pitts is doing this thing,
Yes.
assuming Calvin Ridley will be with the team the rest of the league, watch out for Matt Ryan in the second part of the season.
Yeah,
I
Matt
think
Ryan's probably going to. There
he's gonna continue to be on fire.
and Matthew Stafford, he makes the list again. 28, 41, 334, three touchdown. Going back to Detroit, got the win. So definitely, your boy Derek Carr. I can't say too much, man. He definitely he doing work. 31 of 34, 323, two touchdowns. Mac Jones, put him on the list. He made the list today.
Yeah,
24, 36, 307, two touchdown, good win. Aaron Rodgers, 27 to 35. He had under 300 yards, but he had three touchdowns. So
did
you can't take that away.
did I forget or mishear you mention tags? I don't think I heard you say Tua.
I didn't put two up there.
How did my man threw for 4 touchdowns and he can't get a shout out on you? Hate.
Eh,
And I know why you're hating. We'll probably talk about it in our news portion. I ain't even gonna
yeah.
worry about it. But I saw you two do your doggone thing. I see Justin throwing out some hate, so I'm gonna skip over his actual question. Yeah, how about the Red Sox? They're great. They're better than them Yankees. So
Man,
I ain't no Justin. I see you. No questions for you.
I see.
Um,
I see your mom put
yeah,
a nice little message for me.
yeah, I was about to come up to
Um,
that one.
no, I
Some hate
see it.
thrown your
I
way.
see it. Congratulations, good win.
Yeah,
Bad decisions, bad quarterback play. I mean, I can go into it, but it was definitely y'all deserve it.
Yeah.
I can't take it away from
Hey,
y'all.
the Colts are
Four,
looking nice. Somebody on
yeah,
this show called that one. If y'all watch the 40-second play clock, I ain't gonna say who.
man, I'm just saying. I mean, bad play calling.
All
So
right,
it's all good.
I'm gonna let my grudge go for the second,
Yes.
and I'm gonna go back to Justin's questions before we talk running backs. He says you get to start one: Khalil Herbert, Elijah Mitchell, that's your guy, or Antonio Gibson.
I'm going to Elijah Mitchell. Gibson has been looking all right lately. He hasn't really been on. Something's going on. JD
We
McKenzie's
talked
feeling.
about Antonio Gibson and that shin injury.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling him right now. I mean, he's playing through it. It's a fracture, actually. Like a
yeah.
hairline fracture in his shin. He's playing through it, but he has not looked like the guy we expected him to be. So I'm hesitant on that one. Um, Between your guy, Elijah Mitchell, and Khalil Herbert, I'm going to side with you and say Elijah Mitchell,
Yeah.
I guess.
Elijah Mitchell looked good last week.
Yeah, yeah.
Herbert looked good too.
Yeah, he looked good, but they got a tough one. The Bears do this week.
They
So
play each other.
yeah,
So I mean, our defense is better, a little bit better than their defense,
yeah,
front four anyway. So Herbert's probably gonna have a tougher time than Mitchell. Plus, no Khalil Mack back there. Mitchell
yeah.
could be good this week. So definitely.
You also got up here. Do you like the Jags to win this week?
I do have the Jags winning this week.
What?
I have the Jags. That's a little sneak peek,
Okay,
but
little 40-second play clock preview.
I do have the Jags actually winning this week. I have them beating Seattle. I do not believe in Geno Smith, so I have them winning. I do.
Just for those that are new to the show, first off, welcome. And second off, you should know that Rodney is a hater of all teams in the NFC West. And
That is
so,
not
for
true.
absolutely no reason, he
Hold
will.
up, hold up.
What?
First of all,
Am I wrong?
I've been showing love to Arizona all year, so I'm not hating at all. I've
You're a
been
little bit
showing
of it.
love.
Didn't you call them losing to like who was it? Was it the Brown? I can't remember who it is.
They should have lost to Cleveland. Cleveland is
Yeah.
just as good as they are. I mean, they should have lost.
So as I was saying, he's a
Okay.
hater, and no, the
Okay.
Jaguars are not winning this week. They can only win in London. We've seen it.
Okay. All right.
That's that's the only place the Jaguars are semi
I mean,
good.
so you telling me you believe in Geno Smith? Is that what you're
I do
telling me?
not believe in Geno Smith a little bit,
I'm
but
just saying.
do I believe in Geno Smith and the Seattle team more than I believe in Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, and whatever the heck is happening with the Jaguars? 100%. Seahawks,
Okay.
and isn't that game in Seattle with the 12th man? Get out of
That
here.
don't mean nothing. The game was in Seattle last week and they lost.
Okay,
So what that
Justin.
mean?
Justin, we, he used to be so beautiful. Now, what is this? You agreeing with him? All right.
Of course.
Let's see if
Come on,
Rodney
man.
answers the rest of your questions. I'm not coming back to you until you learn how to act. Running backs. Let's hit some running backs.
The Ernest Johnson from Cleveland, 22 of 146 in a
Where
touchdown.
did that come from?
Didn't see that coming.
Right. Good
Um,
one.
Elijah Mitchell, 18 carries, 107 and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 18 carries, 107 and a touchdown. Damian Harris, 14 carries, 106 and a touchdown. Herbert, Herbert.
Herbert.
Sorry. Yeah.
He know who he is.
Yeah. 18 carries, 100 yards, no touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, I'm going. Then we can go to receivers, and this one here, man, this guy here, I'm gonna talk a lot about him lately too. Later,
Okay.
Jamar Chase, 8 receptions, 201 and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 10 receptions, 156, 2 touchdowns. AJ Brown, finally, AJ Brown is back.
Right.
8 receptions, 133 and a touchdown. Alvin Kamara, he's not a receiver, but man, he was a receiver last week. 10 receptions, 128, a touchdown. Scary Terry, 7 receptions, 122, touchdown. Chris Godwin, monster game, no Antonio Brown, no Grunke, 8 receptions, 111 and a touchdown. Michael Pittman, shout out to your mom, 4 receptions, 105 and a touchdown. And Debo, 7 receptions, 100 yards and a touchdown and a loss. Just saying.
Whatever. Hey, Cooper Kupp, that's my dude, and
Cooper Kupp be balling.
that was the best.
My God.
I'm only sad that I did not get him in enough leagues because apparently I should have jumped way out ahead. But
he's undervalued so much, man.
I want to be mad at Jamar Chase, but actually, he actually won me one of my leagues. But like I say, he burned me in like 3 different ones. So the fantasy gods give, the fantasy gods take away. All right.
Well, I got Jamar Chase, and somebody that we know really well dropped him.
Yeah.
For a running back that was on the practice squad, Le'Veon Bell at the time.
Yeah.
I scooped him up, man. He's been doing work ever since. So yeah, I'll take that.
All right, my anger has subsided with Justin, so let me go back to some of these questions. Oh, in fact, he has one question about something close to your heart about Deshaun Watson, but I think we'll probably save that one until later.
Yeah, we're gonna touch on that a little bit
when we hit some news.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Starting one: Allen Robinson, DJ Moore, Javonte Williams, Darrell Williams, and my man Jalen Waddle.
Starting one: A-Rob, DJ Moore. I'm not starting A-Rob for nobody. Darren Williams, no. Really is a toss up between Waddle and
DJ Moore.
Even that quarterback situation.
Quarterback situation is nasty.
Yeah. I like Javonte though, so I'm saying Waddle or Javonte. I like Waddle because Waddle gets these receptions. Javonte got to take that starting role though.
Yeah, Javonte he's picking up steam, but I don't think he quite has that starting role yet. But I like him. I'm gonna go. For me, it's between DJ Moore and Jalen Waddle, just out of sheer opportunities, and I'm going to end up in the same place you are and say Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, I like Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle because he's the only one. Most of the receivers hurt anyway.
All of the receivers are hurt.
Yeah, he's getting all the receptions, and plus him and Tua got a connection from college, so that's helping a lot too. So definitely he's getting the receptions.
I think I think DJ Moore.
It's a quarterback situation.
I mean, Sam Bradford started off so well, right?
Sam
Darnold. I said Bradford. I went way back. Sam Darnold started off so well, and I don't know. That first game without CMC, he looked good, and after that, I don't even know if Sam Darnold's gonna keep that job for the remainder of the year. He's on thin ice, I think.
Well, we're gonna touch on that later too, because that has a lot to do with his other question.
Okay. All right. Skipping Watson. Question: does he win? He has Stafford, Jones, James Robinson, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, Kyle Pitts. The Bengals defense and Bullock playing against Kirk Cousins, Jonathan Taylor, Myles Gaskins, D-Hop, that's Nuke for y'all, Keenan Allen, Ertz, Mike Williams, Washington football team, defense, and Greg Joseph. Usually when he pulls these out, his team is a lot better. This was a bit closer, I think, than some of his.
Yeah, this
was a bit closer.
This one here is a little bit tough. I mean, I like Jones. Definitely love Stafford, J-Rob, Tyreek, definitely Jefferson. DJ Moore is a question mark for me because of the quarterback situation. Right. Pitts is playing lights out right now. The Bengals defense is going to be great because they playing a quarterback named Mike White. They're going to destroy him.
As if Zach Wilson wasn't tasty enough for a defense.
Exactly. Right? They're going to destroy
But
Mike
your
White.
boy Shaw, he said he has full confidence in Mike White. I was no one else knows who he is. So
nobody knows who he is. Right. They have all the confidence in the world, but we'll see. Kirk Cousins, Jonathan Taylor, Gaskins, no. Gaskins, they don't know what they want to do with him.
Gaskins is so up and down.
Yeah. Hopkins, Keenan Allen, Ertz. I like his team a little bit better because of.
I'm going to give him a slight edge. Because I always go to quarterback first. And Stafford over Kirk Cousins, I take any day.
Yeah. JT and Aaron Jones, they kind of watch each other out. Robinson is better than
Yeah.
Gaskins. Hopkins, Keenan Allen. So you Tyreek and Justin Jefferson, they that's a
Yeah.
washout. Pitts is better than Ertz at this point. Um, and the Bengals defense is better than Washington's defense.
Yeah.
Well, they got a better matchup anyway.
Better matchup. So I think
Yeah.
it's a closer one than normal, but yeah, I think I give you a slight edge on
Yeah.
that one.
I think he should win.
Justin also says he agrees with you for blah 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 blah. Geno Smith. What?
Of
Hey,
course.
Geno Smith had the Seahawks in every game. He always blows it near the end.
That's
but
what he does.
but against the Jaguars, come on, get out of here.
That's what he does. He's gonna lose this one
It's
too.
the Jaguars.
All right.
Okay, y'all put y'all faith in Trevor Lawrence based off.
I'm not
I
put,
have no idea what y'all have seen so far.
I'm not
No,
putting it in Trevor Lawrence.
Anita, welcome to the show. I'm not getting banned from the home because everybody knows the Raiders are better than the Eagles. So it's just the way it is. You like Dalton Schultz or Tyler Higbee?
Schultz.
Schultz, hey, I'm riding the hot hand. The
Going
thing
Schultz.
is, believe it or not, I think Schultz is higher on the I guess the list of guys than I say Higbee is in comparison. I would think it'd be the other way around because they have
Yeah.
so many ballers. Because you got to get past CeeDee Lamb, you got Amari Cooper out there, you got Ezekiel Elliott, but Schultz has just he's been there.
I mean, it's the same, but it's the same situation with the Rams too.
Yeah, but I think Schultz somehow is in a better. I wouldn't have thought Schultz was in a better position than Higbee would be, but nah, I'm
Well, I think the problem, I think Dak actually looks for Schultz.
Yeah.
More than Stafford looks for Higbee.
Higbee. You completely dependent on him getting a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's the only way he becomes really valuable. Schultz, like you said, Dak is looking for him, and so
Oh yeah, he always looked for him.
Yeah.
Because you got CD can get open at any point. But you know they're gonna double team him, they're gonna keep a safety over the top of something to keep him from doing anything. So and then you got the other receiver who, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't think of his name. I'm having a brain fart tonight, people. I'm sorry.
You're talking about the Rams with Cup,
Cowboy.
Woods.
Cowboy.
Oh,
Cowboy.
you're talking about Michael Gallup coming back.
Gallup's coming back,
Yeah.
but Gallup's not going to make a difference, though. I don't think Gallup.
I disagree with you. I think Gallup is going to eat away at some of Schultz's action.
I guess, but I don't
Maybe
think
not
so,
at first because they said they're bringing them on slowly in the practice. So I wouldn't think he'd immediately jump ahead. I don't know if he ever gets ahead of Schultz, but I know if anybody's going to fall back a little bit, it's going to be Dalton Schultz.
But Higbee is more dependent on, like you said, a touchdown.
Yeah, completely.
And we see we see Cooper Kupp is getting 10. That's just 10 catches. We're not even talking about targets.
Right.
So between him and Robert Woods, at least they're getting 30 targets together. So, and just think about, I guess they running the ball, and then you got to throw in Deshaun Jackson. So Higbee is only good between the 20 and the end zone. That's it. He's not good for anything else, especially middle of the field. He's not good for you.
I agree. Justin wants to get on my good side, saying the Raiders will beat the Giants, but really beating the Giants, that's not hard to pick. Everyone would say that. He also thinks Trey Lance is starting soon.
He should be starting this week, but that's a whole another conversation.
I don't know if I would agree with the word soon. I would say Trey Lance is starting eventually.
I mean,
that's about as much of a jump as I'm going to take on that one.
After that performance from last week from Jimmy Garoppolo, he should be starting right now. But
like Jimmy's been lighting it up. So
that's what I'm saying. But that's a whole nother topic.
All right, need to ask, what are our views on what Tom Brady said about defensive players? I'm gonna need a refresher. I'm not.
Yeah, you got to remind me on that one.
I know Teddy Bruce was mad at him. Something about like it's chasing a dog or something. But I don't remember the exact quote. But this was on Monday. If you watch Monday, was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday night. The Eli and Peyton Manning version of Monday Night Football, which I actually watched for the first time this season. Hilarious.
I was.
No, it was hilarious. And mainly, the only bad thing I say about it is it makes it hard to watch the game because you're really paying attention to them. They have guests on, like my man Beast Mode was up there. Tom Brady was a guest. Sue Bird and somebody else I'm leaving out. I think they had on the show as well. But yeah, it was good. I know he said something about defensive players with like a dog chasing a bone or something.
I'm trying to pull it up, so I'm trying to see what he said.
Yeah,
But
it was all in jest, so I've got no problem with it.
I guess I don't know much about it, so I can't really.
Let's hit some wide receivers, and then we'll come back to.
We did receivers, so we're gonna slide.
Hold on, wait. Justin said, "Stop talking about his Jets." What? You're a Jets fan? Man, we got to talk about that in grand detail because you should change that immediately. But
so we're gonna talk about some.
No, we already had wide receivers, tight ends. I mean, yeah.
Last weekend was the week for tight ends. Yeah. It was basically it had a name for it, as kiddos would call it, National Tight Ends Day. Kyle Pitts, 173, 7 receptions.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki, 7 receptions, 85 yards and a touchdown. Dallas Goedert, 3 for 70 yards. Zach Ertz, 3 for 66 and a touchdown. And Uzomah, CJ Uzomah, 3 for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was a good week for tight ends.
It was a great week.
Your streak might be alive. It might be alive. It might be alive.
If your guy, because I was depending on your guy George Kittle to.
He'll be back next week, so we got enough games to cover that 1,000.
All right, let's hit these last questions because I want to get to tonight's. Well, you want to do the news before we get to the subject of the night?
Oh, you get some more questions? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do the questions. Yeah, I mean after that. So let's see. Blah 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 blah. Would we Jets? Seriously, I can't get over that. Justin said in that matchup that was close, he said he's projected to win by 24. So that's not bad. He dropped AJ Dillon and got Gainwell. He already has Aaron Jones. Thoughts? I like it because Miles Sanders out, Boston Scott's gonna get a bit more of those carries than I think.
But he should be the guy though.
But I still think Gainwell's a good pickup in that situation. Yeah. I have Gainwell as well. I wish somebody had told me Miles Sanders was going to get hurt because if I put Gainwell in to my starting lineup, I actually would have won one more of my games.
Well, I will say this: if Gainwell have a good game, Miles Sanders is hurt, he's not going to be there next year. So, yeah, I think the writing's on the wall for Miles Sanders in Philly.
They need to do something with that running game. I hope it's not on the wall yet. Like you said, so many people go with running backs by committee. I can see them keeping them both there at Karen, but who's to say? Going back to the Gainwell versus AJ Dillon, I've stated before, I'm not a big fan of handcuffing my running backs. I'd rather have another good starter, and for me, AJ Dillon is no more than a handcuff. And he'll occasionally have a really good game, but
he's not going to do much until Aaron Jones. He's
only worth
hurt.
Something like you said if Aaron Jones get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thoughts on the 600 touchdown trade?
I think it was whack. I would have asked for more.
I would not have given that ball back.
That ball would have been my possession, bro.
Some ball property person like that. Like, okay, if Tom Brady wants this ball, I'll meet y'all at the locker room. And then we can work out a deal because, hey, that was Mike Evans' mistake. So we need Shaq. What does Shaq think about this one? Because Mike Evans is this dude.
Man, let me tell you something. It's no way.
Yeah.
I'm giving up that football. That football. You need what back?
Oh, I'm giving it back. I'm giving it back, but
not right there. Though.
Exactly. I'm not giving it to that dude. Like I don't know who this property guy is. Like hit me up with the equivalent of backstage passes. I'm going to the locker room. Me and Tom Brady can work this out like men because he's obviously a Bucs fan. I'm gonna give it to you. It's your ball. You deserve it. However,
I'm gonna need a cool meal, bro.
In fact, going back to Nita earlier, Tom Brady made a joke about that on the Monday Night Show too. He was like, "Yeah, the guy gave away his bargaining chip way too soon," and so Manning was like, "Yeah, that's an amateur move. He should have held on to it because he lost all his leverage once he gave that ball away." I'm glad they gave him a lot of stuff, and it's cool. He can still do some stuff with what he got. He got a Bitcoin. He got some other cryptocurrency from Gronkowski. He gets some signed jerseys, some cleats, a helmet.
Now, hold up.
Season tickets for 2 years. It's a nice transaction, but I guarantee you, on the market, he could have gotten even more.
Well, for people that don't know, we talk stocks too.
Yeah.
On our other time, we talk stocks. So I wanted to know how much really is that Bitcoin worth? Is that worth?
At the moment, it was worth like $62,000, but Bitcoin went like off 5% drop today, so it went from 60. That's the thing about Bitcoin; it's really volatile. So it went from like 62,000 to around like 58, 59,000 in a matter of a couple of days. So it's not bad. It's still a lot of money for one coin. But nothing. He would have got a lot more than $60,000 if he was trying to sell that like on the market somewhere. So
I mean, because what they gave him 2 tickets for this year, 2 tickets for next year, 2 signed jerseys from Brady and a helmet. They gave him a Mike Evans jersey
and some game cleats
and some game cleats, and they gave him $1,000
to use at the Buck store.
At the Buck store. I'm gonna need $1 million, bro. Easy. I'm not coming off that million.
So like, if Jimmy G threw his 600th pass, you trying to fleece the team? You're not gonna give it back.
First of all, Jimmy is not throwing for 60 touchdowns, let alone 600 touchdowns. So no. Now, if I would have caught it, bro, you're not getting that back. I'm sorry. I'm gonna need Brady to come to me and talk to me. So tell him hit me up. I'll be waiting if he wanted that bad.
Yo. He got more money than he know what to do with. We could have worked something out. Nita also agrees that what he got was not worth anything close to what that ball would have been worth. 100%. Justin says he thinks he could have got $500K off the market. I say easily. Yeah.
Easy.
Easy. I mean, like what they gave, like I said, what they gave him is good. And if you're a really big fan and you say, "Oh, it's right, it should be Tom Brady's ball," he got a nice compensation, but he could have got a much better one. So yeah.
Think about it this way, just to go off topic a little bit. Michael Jordan's, I think, rookie sneakers went for $1.6 million at an auction. Just imagine what that football would have went for at an auction, bro. At least a cool meal or two. No way. He was a bad.
Yeah.
He sat there and actually gave him the ball. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me right now? I would have sat there and act like he ain't want. Excuse me, sir. Who you talking to? I don't know you. Why are you talking to me for?
This ball Mike Evans gave me? No, thanks.
Bro.
Tell Tom to come over. We can work it out. That's the only person I'm negotiating with. I'm like, Tom, what's this ball worth to you?
How much? Yeah. How bad do you really want it?
Yeah.
That's what I would have did. Yeah.
All right, let's hit back some of these comments. Okay, Nita is clarifying. Yeah, Tom Brady said that defensive players were only dogs chasing cars. And some of the defensive players didn't take too kindly to it, but it was a joke, so I'm cool with it. Well, it was kind of a joke. Every joke has a little bit of truth in it, right? Justin says he has the Panthers beating the Falcons.
Don't think so.
No.
I got the Falcons beating the Panthers on this one.
No.
I'm giving away all my picks.
I know, right? We're going to have nothing left to talk about for the 40-second play clock.
Giving away all my picks.
Tune into the Wednesday show. You saw it. You got to start 3. This is Javonte Smith, Melvin Gordon, Odell Beckham Jr., Brandon Ayuk, Gallup, and Corey Davis. I'm not starting Corey Davis only because, hey, that quarterback situation, no. I'm not starting Ayuk because, no. Everyone else, okay, so I'm assuming we're just going to pick between Smith, Gordon, OBJ, and Michael Gallup. I don't think I'm going to start Gallup either because I like to see people on their first game back from injury.
OBJ, no. Ayuk,
but
no.
We're running out of people.
Gallup, no.
Yeah.
I'm going Smith, Melvin Gordon, and I'm going to think about out of that last 4, you probably got to go OBJ. just to fill in the
reluctantly.
spot,
Yeah.
or either find somebody else to pick up.
Right. But yeah, that's about the best I could do with that one.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, the Bulls are doing great. I'm almost excited, except for me, it's too early to get into basketball, so I'm just watching stats and box scores at this point.
I love every bit of it. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Zach LaVine is balling right now. I'm loving it, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Somebody told me, man, how long you been a Bulls fan? I said, all my life. The struggle is real, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. I can go back to Ben Gordon. I can go back to, yeah, it was bad. Kurt Henrik.
Can you go any sooner than Michael Jordan? That's the real question.
I wasn't alive then. I wasn't
You're
thought
not
of.
that young.
I ain't that old. Jordan came in 80.
Now the thing is, there was nobody on the Bulls unless you're gonna go like way back to Artis, I think Gilmore, Artis Gilmore. Yeah,
Artis Gilmore, but I won't.
But you gotta go. Then. But yeah, that was before either one of our times.
Yeah,
don't let the gray hairs fool you. I ain't that old either. So, but before that, there was nobody on the Bulls to like. So yeah,
I mean, all I know is when Mike got there, they said it was a bunch of drunks and guys that got high. Exactly. And he was like, I couldn't take this, so we got to get rid of the guys.
He had to completely change that culture. But
so,
we both been there since then. Do you think Pitts is a top 3 tight end the rest of the season?
Yes. I think so. Because now he's looking for him. He's targeting him.
Right.
I think that game in London was a big breakout for him. And you seen what he did last week. I think he's going to do numbers for the rest of the year.
Right.
Honestly. So, yeah.
Top 3. Number 1 is always and will always be Travis Kelce. I think number 2, he's been hurt. I have a hard time giving that number 2 spot away from, Darren Waller. If your guy comes back.
Kittles is definitely number 2, bro.
But
you can't disrespect like that. Okay. Come on, man. Don't disrespect. Come on. Let's be fair, man. Darren Waller's number 3.
Well, you got Kyle. You said Kyle Pitts is definitely top 3. So who you knocking out?
Waller and Pitts are fighting for number 3 right now.
I say no, Kyle Pitts is not top 3, but he's doggone close. He's definitely top 5.
He's gonna finish top 5 at the end of the year, definitely. But those are the top 3. I think they're gonna be the top 3 at the end of the year when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Let's hit some news.
So I got some news, and this one I don't know if it's this. So the NFL is requiring teams to hold in-person interviews to satisfy the Rooney Rule.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that because I think a lot of teams with the Rooney Rule, if y'all don't know what the Rooney Rule is, basically a team in the NFL has to interview a African American candidate for the job, even though 9 times out of 10, they're not getting a job. But they have to do it to cover their bases. I still don't think this is going to satisfy the Rooney Rule like that by doing an in-person meeting.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's got to be a little bit more stricter for them to say, hey, you don't have to hire a black coach, but you have to at least think about it. You have to give them the final chance. Because right now, they're not getting it. I mean, you can say, yeah, I'm gonna bring this guy for an interview. But if I was a black coach and you telling me I want to do an interview, I'm not going in there, even though I know in the back of your mind who you already got.
Right.
I mean, hate to kind of ruin your Raiders thing, but the whole thing with John Gruden.
Right.
John Gruden was going to be the coach of the Raiders
from the get-go. Right.
From the get-go. So they didn't even follow the Rooney rules. They really went strict to just John Gruden being the head coach, no matter what.
Yeah.
They didn't interview anybody of color.
And that, I guess, is my issue with it's a great idea in principle. I think the real solution is for people to be better. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, why do we need a special rule to give a black head coach a job? Look at the guy for Kansas City, right? Who gets looked over every year. Look at last year, the defensive coordinator for the Bills. Look at the whole staff Bruce Arians has over there, and these are guys that should definitely get at least opportunities. But a lot of times they get looked over. I don't think a Rooney Rule can fix it because
Nope.
the only way you can really fix it is, like I said, if people are better and say, "Hey, let's give these guys a shot." That doesn't happen. Going back to John Gruden, you see sort of the kinds of reasons because a lot of old mentalities are still there, and until those mentalities change, the Rooney Rule is nice in principle. In practice, like you said, it's hard. It's impossible, I would say, to enforce. For real.
I mean, my issue with the coaching in the NFL is most African American coaches get at max about 2 years to prove if they can coach, and if they can't coach, they get let go.
Yeah,
and the problem is they don't get recycled like a white coach would. A white coach can be really bad at his job at coaching football.
I'm sorry, did you say Matt Nagy? I can't remember. I thought you said Matt Nagy.
You can say Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
And Matt Nagy is going to get if he was to get fired this year, Matt Nagy will get interviewed for another job next year. Even though Matt Nagy is probably one of the worst coaches in the NFL right now. But he's going to get the opportunity because of the color of his skin. And it's not fair because you got people like I want to say his name is Eric, the guy from Kansas City.
Yeah, I can't remember his last name though. It's something.
It's Eric something. And they try to say that he doesn't interview well, which doesn't make sense to me at all.
Justin just chimed in with the other name that should have never gotten hired. Adam Gates.
Adam Gates is one.
Terrible. Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer is another one. I mean, the list is going on. Like, it's guys that don't deserve these jobs.
Yeah.
And they get these jobs knowing that
it's not that different than the regular corporate world. People get jobs because of relationships. And the essential problem is people that have these relationships, it's no surprise. People tend to be around people that look and hang out in the same circles. And a lot of these coaches aren't in the right circles, if you will, to get certain jobs. And sometimes they get them as coordinators and, these positions coaches. But getting that next step up, you kind of have to have those kind of relationships with the owners and the general managers. And that's something that still has yet to be completely cultivated in the NFL. So,
that's the problem because only they will give them defensive jobs. They are defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, special teams, those type of defensive lineman coaches. But they won't recycle them as a head coach. And if they do, the leash is so short.
Right.
They don't get time enough to do anything. Like, I'm going to be, and this is being like truthful.
Yeah.
Mike Shanahan is a great offensive coordinator. Now, can we make the argument that he's a great coach? He had one winning season out of 5, but he's going to get that 6-year contract extension, even though he's had those losing seasons.
Are we talking Kyle Shanahan or?
I mean, Kyle Shanahan. Okay. Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, so
okay.
Kyle Shanahan's had one winning season out of 5. And I'm not bashing my coach. I'm just keeping it kind of 100 with people.
I mean, but it's something bashable. Hey, 38-3 is still a thing. So and thanks, Justin. Justin to the rescue. Eric Bieniemy, that's his name.
Bieniemy, yeah. So he received a new 6-year deal. But if somebody like Salah, who say Salah doesn't do well this year, he doesn't do well next year, he doesn't do well the year after that, he's going to be fired.
He's the coach of the Jets. Sorry, Justin, he's not going to do well. No one does well.
The thing is, they're not giving him time to build.
Yeah.
So if you start fresh, it takes 4 to 5 years, at least 3 years to start righting that ship in your third year to get this team together. They're giving coaches 2 years max. I mean, it's crazy to me. Like, it doesn't make any sense that these coaches don't get the time that they need to do what they're supposed to do. But I mean, it's okay. Oh, I'm glad Anita brought that up because that's my next news topic. Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
He shuts down the USC rumors,
Yeah. That
which
was hilarious. Yeah.
yeah, that was hilarious, which he should have.
Uh-huh.
And he was right. It's not a big enough check they can give him because one thing I like about Pittsburgh, no matter how bad he does, they're never gonna fire him. He would literally have to walk out on his own
Yeah.
because Pittsburgh has only had,
How
correct
many
me if I'm
years
wrong,
do they give that I can't remember their average coaching length of holding that position is like incredible. They have patience, like you said.
Bill Coward was it Bill Coward?
Ca-
What's it, I forgot who the coach was before him, but he had 15 years.
yeah,
It was a
it
what?
was, dang, I can't even. It's been so long. I can't even remember who was
It's
the
so
coach before
long
him.
because Tomlin been there 10 years maybe. And the thing is, they're not going to fire Tomlin. Tomlin has more job security than anybody in the NFL, and
Yeah,
he deserves it.
right.
So he about the only one. And I just Googled how many black coaches was in the NFL. Right now, it's three black coaches in the NFL right now. Three,
Yeah,
and that's really sad. They have three black coaches out of 32. I mean, come on now.
yeah,
But you have probably 15 to 16 offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, special team coaches, probably more than that. But just putting it out there, probably about 15 to 20 of those coaches that's not going to get the opportunity to coach,
yeah.
honestly. And I think the Raiders, y'all have a black coach now as an intern, but he doesn't even count as a head coach now. So who knows? And just the last piece of news is
Hey,
Javonte Adams.
not the last
What?
piece of news. I got a piece of news
Well,
myself, but yeah, talk
for
Devontae
me,
Adams first.
Javonte Adams, Alex are on a COVID list. They will miss Thursday night game.
Yeah,
That's
Randall
gonna
Cobb is the guy.
that was gonna lead into my waiver wire list. So
Okay.
yeah, Kenneth Gainwell is somebody you can pick
Hey,
up. 22% on
didn't
the
didn't I
Yahoo.
just say I had a news story I wanted to bring up? I'm just gonna jump right
Hey
into
man,
waiver wires.
I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Just it's like I'm not even here.
Go ahead.
Anyway, Chuck Noll, thank you, Nita, the coach before Coward. Stan Grunke, if you know who he is the owner of the Los Angeles Rams, formerly of St. Louis. And here's the story. When he left St. Louis to
Hmm.
go to Los Angeles, they depending on who side of the story you're gonna go with completely. The NFL wasn't really for it. They wanted them to do. If you guys remember back, the Raiders and the Chargers were gonna do a joint stadium together in Los Angeles because they both have history, and they can represent that area. The Rams,
Yeah.
not so well. Yeah, I guess they could. You go back long enough, but
Yeah.
the deal was originally going to be those two teams, and that's where the support was because ever since the situation with Katrina in New Orleans, it's more difficult for teams to leave the cities that they're in, and so when the Rams left St. Louis to go to Los Angeles, there was known there was going to be some problems. So the owner said, "Okay, don't even worry about it. I'm gonna front all the bills for this move." And just now, the situation completely switched when he says, "Yeah, sorry, but I'm not going to be able to do it anymore." And so there's a lot of heat going on in that owners that was going on in that owners meeting. They actually asked him to leave the room so they could talk about it some more. And Jerry Jones had my man's back, but we're talking about like billions, the billions of this loss of dollars this lawsuit could come up to, and it's involved actually more emails being sent from several teams because they have to look into it. They're trying to see what are the potential damages that the city of St. Louis could be facing because they abruptly left the stadium so quickly. They said St. Louis said they've lost billions of dollars of potential revenue. And so my man Stan said he was going to handle it, the Rams owner, and now he's changing the deal, saying no, I can't do it. And so we're just waiting to see where that's going to be. But there's a lot of heat because a lot of owners, including the Raiders owner Mark Davis, said everybody that was in that room knew that if he wasn't going to front these legal bills, nobody was going to vote for the Rams to go to Los Angeles. But because he said he was going to pay all the legal expenses, they let it go by. So stay tuned to see if there's some more heat and some rich guys just fighting each other over money, because this story is one that's going to come up, and it could make it a bit difficult for teams to when they want to leave their cities. So, yeah, that's my news story.
Do you see, speaking of teams moving, do you see a team going back to St. Louis?
They got a stadium there, for what it's worth, but I don't think so, honestly.
What about
at least
Oakland?
Not anytime soon. Who do you think could be moving?
I mean, I don't know right off the hand who could be moving, but I mean, what about Oakland? Think Oakland?
We are Las Vegas strong, buddy.
What if they got a Oakland Raiders or a team in Oakland? Plus, how would you feel about that?
Oh, if the Raiders move back to Oakland?
No. What if a team went to Oakland?
Oh, they just started a team in Oakland.
Yeah.
I mean, they're free to. I don't know how I don't know how that goes over, because like when when the Browns left Fair Cleveland, and they eventually got a team back, but they went back to being the Browns. The Raiders ain't giving up that name, so what are you starting in Oakland that's going to have the same sort of feelings that people jumping in on it? So yeah.
Well, they did say Buffalo. Buffalo's in the last year of their lease or their deal in Buffalo. They say they could be leaving, but I don't see Buffalo leaving. They've been there forever.
Hey, that Bills Mafia is strong, so you're gonna. I think this St. Louis case is gonna really make people think twice about leaving where they are. We'll see what happens with it.
Definitely.
All right, you wanted to do some waiver wires before we hit our show topic. Go for it.
Yeah. Hold on, we got a comment from Keith. Keith said Buffalo Bills will be moving soon. What's up, y'all?
Oh, okay.
So, he's a Buffalo fan, so he know more than anybody. So that's why I know about the Buffalo thing, because their lease is coming up.
Yeah.
But we're gonna hit to this waiver wire, and we're gonna say Kenneth Gainwell. He's on 22% in Yahoo. Russell Gage for me, 10%. He had 6 receptions, 67 yards, and a touchdown last week. And Randall Cobb is a good pickup for tomorrow night with both receivers down. Because Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to him as his favorite target, because he's not going to trust the other guys. Right. So Tanya should have a good game too. So Tanya, if you can pick up Robert Tanya, would be good too. So because those are the only 2 guys he maybe won't trust anyway. So go for it. You got anybody?
Not picking up Mike White?
No, not even touching Mike White. I'm good. I don't want no problem with Mike White.
Nothing going with the Jets.
No.
I feel you. I don't have any other ones other than the ones you said. Justin asked a question. He's playing Stafford. I guess that's supposed to be Jones. Devontae Booker, Adam Thielen, Jacoby Myers, D-Hop, Dalton Schultz, Keenan Allen, the Panthers defense, and the Titans kicker. He has Kirk Cousins, Alvin Kamara, Chuba Hubbard, who's been a big disappointment to me, by the way, Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, Galladay, Pitts, Herbert, the Chargers defense, and Cincinnati's kicker. Who you got winning that one? It's funny. It's a reverse of the quarterbacks with Stafford.
Yeah. It's like he's playing himself, basically.
Not figuratively, but yeah.
Diggs, Cooper. I don't like Galladay. No, I like Pitts, Herbert. Chargers defense. He might. Booker, Thielen. He might put. It's gonna be a tough one. He got a lot of. Well, the other guy got a lot of holes too. So.
Just to get that Jones. It says Jones. I'm assuming that's Jones. Is that Aaron Jones that you're playing against?
Yeah, it probably is.
I'm thinking. I'm just assuming there would be a running back coming next, because Booker. So I'm thinking maybe that's Aaron Jones.
I'm thinking that's Aaron Jones too. I think he has the upper hand with AK-41,
Yeah.
Diggs, Amari, Pitts, Cincinnati's kicker, no. Chargers defense, maybe. I think Stafford outdoes Cousins, but I think it'll be close. Jones and kind of AK kind of washed, but I think AK in the passing game is going to be more effective.
Yeah.
Booker is Booker. And plus, Saquon might be back this week, so I don't know how far that's going to get that guy, honestly. Thielen been balling. Myers, D-Hop. By slight edge, I'm giving it to him based off of Cousins.
Got some real close ones.
Yeah. It's close, but I'm giving it to him just off of AK-41, Diggs, Amari, Pitts, and Cousins. Stafford beat him out, but that's a tough one. He gonna be in a dog fight with that one.
Need to let some of the black coaches, she said, didn't get a second chance. Lovey Smith, a guy I love. I'm so sad that he had to play against Tony Dungy in that Super Bowl because I was like,
yeah,
can't win that. Jim Caldwell, Dennis Green, Art Shell did get a second chance actually with the Raiders, and it was a disaster. Yeah. Anthony Lynn, Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis was with Cincinnati for 175 years. I thought they were going to fire him like at least 20 times, that they didn't. Hugh Jackson he became a coach for the Raiders for a little bit too. Todd Bowles, Vance Joseph, is that list? So there we go.
There we go.
Are you ready? This is what moment people have been waiting for. Mid-season, we are officially, of the 14 games in the fantasy football season, we are halfway through. We just finished game number 7. Week 8 starts tomorrow night. Who's been balling out? We're talking about giving away a few awards like MVPs, who's been the star of the first half of the season. We got a Rookie of the Year award, defensive players. I just threw that in because we don't really do defenses a lot, but I want to give some defensive players some love. Guys who were underrated, overrated, talking even coaches, and who's going to be that comeback player that really has a stellar second half of the year, despite their first part of the year maybe not being so great. You want to get us started? Who are your MVP candidates?
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's easy.
That's the easiest one, right?
That's easy. Derrick Henry has like 250 yards more than the next running back.
Yeah.
He has probably 3 or 4 more touchdowns than the next running back. He's on pace for 2269 this year and 20 touchdowns. Again,
and potentially around 500 receiving yards, which is something he's never done. He's got 154 receiving yards already. I was like, okay.
Yeah. And he could win the MVP in real life.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's Derrick Henry's my
If he does all
MVP.
that stuff, it would be a travesty for him to not get MVP. Unless it goes to a guy I'm going to say, Tom Brady.
I had Tom Brady on my list, but I was like, Derrick Henry has to. I gotta go Derrick Henry.
Well, I put down a few names, and we'll let the audience decide who they think is most deserving, and feel free to put in your suggestions as well. But Tom Brady has thrown. This is the craziest part. He's thrown over 300 passes for 2,275 yards, 21 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. This guy's look like he's going to hit 5,000 easy. Darn well, close to 50 touchdowns. In a couple of our leagues, there was a lot of folks sleeping on Tom Brady this year, saying, oh, he's old. Tom Brady does not age. that man is remarkable.
It's somebody in the chat that said that he was old and he won't gonna do well this year. But we ain't gonna rub him. We ain't gonna throw no names out there. But it's somebody in the chat.
I got Tom Brady in our 2 quarterback league with crazy quarterback points at the end of the first round, and thank you everybody that slept on him.
you lucky you picked in front of me because he would have been gone before he got there to you. So you're lucky because he was coming home to me.
Yeah,
So
I think it's definitely between those two. Who's going to be the MVP? Anybody else you think at least there's a fantasy shout out, even if they're not going to win the MVP award?
Matthew Stafford could
Okay.
possibly win it. I what he's doing now, I think is good. I definitely think. Long shot, if they keep playing well,
Uh huh.
Kyler Murray is a long
I thought
shot.
about him.
He's a long shot. So I don't think he's gonna win it, but he's definitely a long shot to win it for me.
He's not winning an actual MVP, but a guy I have with my fantasy MVP, he's not going to win that either. But he at least deserves to be nominated, and that's Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp with 809 yards, 81 targets, 56 receptions, 9 touchdowns. He's leading in like literally every statistical category for wide receivers, except for maybe yards per reception. But that's not his cup. He's a PPR guy. So if you're in PPR, Cooper Kupp is making a way. I want to throw love to Derek Carr. He
I
ain't
was
get
about to say that. Is he in the conversation?
Derek Carr is more so because I think it's a surprise to people how well he's been doing. He also is over 2,000 yards
Yeah.
passing so far. He's only a little bit behind Tom Brady. So
Yeah.
shout out to my man Derek Carr. If I can just get him to throw more touchdowns. He's thrown 12 so far. I need him to get around the 35 to 40 touchdowns for the year, and he's not quite on that pace yet. He needs to pick it up a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit.
A little bit, pick it up. He could win comeback player of the year or not comeback, but most improved
He
player of the year.
he could. He could. Hey, most improved since John Gruden went away for certain.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that. Oh my gosh, yeah, that's definitely.
yeah.
He feel like he's playing a little bit freer now, in my opinion.
What
So
about Nita also said she was going to say Kyler Murray as a MVP, and he's definitely been that in fantasy.
yeah,
Rookie of the year, is there even a contest?
Jamar Chase.
There you go. Like
It's not even a contest. He beating out all the quarterbacks. Period.
Jamar Chase is insane. We thought
He's
Justin Jefferson was insane because he was last year. Yo, Jamar
Jamar.
Chase he's already at 754 yards. He's 51 targets, 35 receptions, 6 touchdowns. He's gonna put up some insane number. Yeah, Anita's thing. She sent me an email earlier that Shannon Sharp said Derek Carr leaked the emails in that owners meeting I mentioned earlier. Mark Davis didn't accuse Roger Goodell of releasing those emails. However, he questioned why this was not presented to them earlier, and Roger Goodell, I guess, wanted to clarify and say that no one in the NFL office had anything to do with these leaked emails. So he's clearing his name. I have not heard Derek Carr clearing his name yet. So
That's funny.
yeah,
Yeah, that's funny.
yeah. Jamar Chase is the guy. Another guy, and hey, Najee Harris. He. I don't think he wins the award, but yeah, he's the competition.
He's
He's
the only one.
300 and what 88 I think yards rushing and
Yeah.
244 receiving, 4 touchdowns so far. I made the claim that he was not going to reach 1,000 rushing yards, and
And you're wrong.
it's coming close. It's going to be close. I ain't gonna say I'm wrong yet. It's going to be interesting because if you look at Najee Harris, the first 4 games, he never got more than 16 carries in a game. The last
Yeah.
2 games, he's got 23 carries and 24 carries, respectively. If they keep going with this 20-plus carries a game, yeah, I'm going to lose that bet.
Yeah, you're
If
gonna
he
lose
starts to
that.
dip back down into the teens, I'm going to start feeling comfortable. But it's
Well,
going to be
look,
close.
they force feeding him, man. That's what I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Well,
They're
I knew they were
force
going to
feeding
force
him.
feed him, but I didn't think they'd be able to force feed him running the ball. They have the past 2 games. I need them to vert back to the first 4. If they go back to the first 4, I'm good. So, yeah, those are the only guys that really deserve any
Yeah,
recognition. I'm
there's
going to
no.
give Mac Jones an honorable mention because he doesn't suck, but that's saying
I
a lot.
mean,
So,
none of the quarterbacks deserve it this year,
yeah,
so none of them.
yeah.
Uh,
Welcome Maben Hatchett to the show. We got a question. They just traded away A.J. Brown, Joe Mixon, and Michael Thomas for Dalvin Cook and Keenan Allen. Did they win?
no, I feel
Uh,
like with this, AJ Brown was starting to get off. Um, Joe Mixon's always in the mix I'm gonna be surprised. I'm surprised this year because Joe Mixon normally starts second half of the season. He gets going,
Mm.
but he's really been getting going earlier this season than usual.
Yeah.
So AJ Brown, Joe Mixon, you gave away two good guys, and then with Michael Thomas, you really don't know what you're getting when he come back. But he was worth a wait.
Right. I
Unless
would
you
say
needed
you
Cook and
waited this
Keenan Allen.
long. It might be worth
Yeah,
to see what he get. Here's my deal. If Keenan Allen is gonna pay like he normally does the rest of the season, I think you come out all right because Dalvin Cook is just
yeah.
Dalvin Cook is Dalvin Cook. You already that's the reason I'm pretty sure you really did this trade. But you're gonna really need Keenan Allen to step up his game and Mike Williams to sit back a little bit for it to really pay off. Because, like I said, based off the first half of the year, AJ Brown has been terrible. We're gonna talk about him a little bit, but this last game and a little bit before, looks like he's starting to turn the corner. Joe Mixon, I'm not too Joe Mixon I can go either way. Dalvin Cook more than makes up for whatever you would have gotten from Joe Mixon. So that part I like. The Michael Thomas is the part again that tips it over that I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes. I don't know if you won. Maybe I think this is actually almost a really even kind of trade. I would probably. Well, let me say this. It's based that my answer is going to be dependent on how the rest of your team is structured. Because
That's the question.
Yeah, because it looks like at the very least you feel like you're already pretty strong at wide receiver, and you just wanted to boost up your running back position. In that case, then you win in as much as you got what your team needed. But I think that's a fairly decent trade between the two. But it depends on what your needs were at the time.
Yeah.
Good question. Thanks for joining us. So we did MVP. I think we agree as Derrick Henry with Tom Brady getting that quarterback bias that would potentially put him over. But I say it's Derrick Henry. Like I said, Jamar Chase is the guy. Any defensive players deserve a shout out in your book?
You're gonna be surprised with this one.
Okay.
And he a rookie.
Okay.
Trayvon Diggs.
That's the first one on my list. Not surprised.
Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs. If you don't know who Trayvon Diggs is, Trayvon Diggs got 7 interceptions in 6 games. I don't understand why they keep throwing this way.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out why they keep throwing this way. This man is like an interception machine, and they steady keep throwing this way. He really could win Defensive Rookie of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year, which is insane to be a rookie, first of all. If he get anywhere near 10 interceptions or more, they might as well put his name on the trophy because he's going to get Defensive Player
of the Year and maybe even Rookie of the Year over. Defensive Player of the Year overall potentially. That's
what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he could get both of them.
Yeah,
because he's that good at cornerback, and they still keep throwing his way.
Hey, they giving him opportunity after opportunity. Yes, 7. It's just insane. I mean, how well he's been doing this year. And so 2 touchdowns already, 142 return yards. He's killing it. So if you have IDP in your league, Trayvon Diggs is potentially winning you games because he's putting up like receiver numbers. I have him in one of my IDP leagues, and so and I also threw in Rayquan Smith.
Rayquan Smith.
Who has 43 solo tackles, 75 total, 2 sacks, an interception, and a touchdown. He's also doing work. So.
Well, with Diggs, he's doing about, especially in our league where you got him at, he's doing about 15 points a game in our league, and that's wide receiver 3 numbers in our league.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah, so
Maven clarifies, and thanks for answering back. They have Diggs, Stephon Diggs, and Calvin Ridley. If Ridley can get his life together the second half of the season, then I would go and say yes, you definitely win that trade because you didn't need. I don't think you even need Michael Thomas, and so with the receivers you having AJ Brown, I think you did great with that trade. So that sounds really good.
Yeah. Now that we know, definitely.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know.
Who's your potential comeback player of the year?
Speaking of which, AJ Brown, because the thing about AJ Brown, he was drafted around average draft position was like 29. That would have him in like the third round of most league, depending on the size of your league,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been like the 39, 40th ranked wide receiver in this position. It's been a terrible, terrible first start of the year for him and Julio Jones, for that matter. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it's gonna start picking up, and so AJ Brown has the talent. I think that will make you, if you still have him on your team, he's a guy I think that will potentially win you some games in the second half to make up for the complete absence of stats he
The
put
first
up in
one.
that first half.
I got a guy that's coming off an injury.
Okay.
Jerry Judy. I
Okay.
think Jerry Judy is going to be a monster this second half. Um, I just think the talent is there. Um, he has a good feel with Teddy Bridgewater, and I feel like he is the number one receiver in Denver.
Yeah.
Gordon Sutton is good, but like Judy is the number one.
He's
Judy's
something
gonna get
special.
he's something special. He gonna get that work. And Judy, before he got hurt, which was in the first game, he was on pace for 100 yards and a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be somebody. If you can grab him, I got him in 5 leagues, and I held on to him because I know when he come back, which is this week because I'm playing him, he's going to do
Right.
work. So if he's still available,
And he
try to
shouldn't
get
be,
him.
by the way.
He
but,
shouldn't be, but if he's still
but
out
if
there,
he
you should go
is,
try to get him.
yeah.
Yeah, put him in the lineup because he's definitely coming to work. And they got Washington this week. So you already know that it's going to be he's going to do work this week against Washington.
I'm gonna
So
stay on that team with another potential comeback guy, and I'm gonna say Javonte Williams. We've been talking all year that
yeah.
eventually this starting job is gonna be his. I think you're starting to see him creep up a little bit. He's been fairly productive the last couple of weeks with Denver, and I think he's gonna start to pay some dividends coming down the stretch.
I got a sleeper one that I think that's going to end up
Oh,
producing
I'm
good
glad because I
numbers.
threw in the sleeper too. Who you got?
Um, and Justin is going to like this. And I've been on this train since day one.
Oh,
Michael Carter is
I know.
starting to
Yeah,
come along.
I knew who you was going once you said that. Right.
Um, Michael Carter is really start. It's not even about really rushing with Michael Carter. It's more about receiving out of the
Uh huh.
backfield. In the last 3 games, he's averaged about 8 receptions in 80 yards, around about 80 yards per game. So he's definitely he's not really getting touchdowns, but the receptions are there out of the backfield because they're down by so much. He's catching out. He's in the game to play catch up, and they say he's been getting more carries than the other guys.
Yeah.
So he's one that I think can really blow up. Which I got him in a couple leagues too because I think he's going to do work this second half because they gave him the reins and definitely he gonna thank you, Justin. I
Justin
appreciate
is
that.
feeling your Michael Carter thing.
Yeah, I've been on the train since day one, man. I'm trying to tell you. So he gonna do work though, man. I'm trying to tell you. I believe in Michael Carter, man. I'm telling you.
My father, Jasper Lewis, the senior, he's going with Dak Prescott getting his vote. Dak, Dak is he's gonna have his full arsenal, so that's not a
Yeah.
bad one itself. Here's my sleeper pick for you. We talk a lot about Antonio Gibson, and we mentioned his hairline fracture in his shin. I think that really starting to affect him. So if, and this is the part that makes it a sleeper, you don't want to wish ill on someone, but if that shin injury starts to get to be more of a problem, J.D. McKissick is going to really be a good pickup for the second half of the season. And he's somebody you might be able to pick off on waivers. He
Hmm.
also, much like you mentioned, Michael Carter catches out the backfield, and they've been a couple of games this season when J.D. McKissick has looked really good when given the opportunity. So if, and that's a big if, Antonio Gibson ends up missing some time with this shin injury, J.D. McKissick could be one of those guys that the second half of the season becomes a cornerstone on your team.
Now let me ask you: Does Dallas Goddard pick up the pace
I think so.
um, with the Zach Ertz trade now, and does he pick up the pace where he can
I think
start
that,
some?
this is why I couldn't see how it didn't happen sooner. I think that trade benefits Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. We saw Zach Ertz have a really good first game with the Cardinals already, picking
Yeah,
up where Max Williams was right before he got hurt. I think that trade helps both of those guys. So yeah, they didn't need to be on that same team because they
no,
couldn't make
no,
that two. We've seen some teams make the two tight end look work.
work. Yeah,
Philadelphia was not that team getting it done.
yeah.
There's a lot of
They
problems with
need
Philadelphia, but
they
I
need to
think
separate
I
them.
think they both are going to do a lot better in the second half of the season, being apart from each other. Yeah,
Yeah, and I got actually, man, I got a few sleepers, man, like that I've been looking at. Kadarius Toney
mm-hmm.
is one, um, especially with a
For
lot
New
of the
York.
receivers out for the year. Kadarius Toney is a
Yeah,
big weapon for I'm not calling him Danny Dimes. I refuse. Uh,
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones.
Right.
So Kadarius Toney is one. He had a good game. He had a great game actually 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Then he had a good game last week. So I think he definitely is one to keep in mind. If you can get Kadarius Toney, I would try to go get him because he's definitely the number one guy, especially now with
Mm,
those guys being hurt now. Galladay always hurt.
right.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard's always hurt. They have nothing there at receiver but him.
Mm,
So they playing Pettis at this point. Him and
right.
Pettis.
Right. You're the
So
old guy from the 49ers.
yeah. So yeah,
uh,
Kadarius Toney.
Welcome
Right.
Trey S to the show. You asked the question, and by the way, thanks Justin for reminding everybody. Hit like, hit subscribe. We really appreciate it. And put it. And thanks for all your comments you've been giving so far, everybody. Trey S asks, full PPR, one flex. You got Eli Mitchell, Chase Edmonds, Jerry Judy, who you've been talking about,
Mhm.
Pittman, Michael Pittman Jr., or Khalil Herbert. Who you picking for your flex spot?
How many can we pick?
I think it's just one.
Just one. I'm not feeling Edmonds
I'm not
right
feeling
now.
that Edmonds has not been exactly. Here's the crazy part about we liked Chase Edmonds at the beginning of the year because our assumption was James Conner can't survive a year. James Conner's been surviving this full season so far, and it's getting annoying.
Yeah.
So
So take
yeah,
out
so
Chase
not Chase
Edmonds.
Edmonds. No,
Um,
I think I like Pittman.
I love Pittman. I love Pittman.
Yeah,
Pittman is definitely Pittman, Judy, um, Khalil. He not gonna have that job
well, only got to worry about this week.
this
He
week.
ain't
But
losing it this week.
I like Judy. I like Pittman. That's tough, man. He got some good ones here, man. I
Yeah,
ain't gonna
that's.
lie.
I'm with you.
Um,
The fact that we have to choose one makes it
yeah,
difficult.
like this is tough. I'm
I'm
a
going,
big fan.
assuming that T.Y. Hilton is still going to be injured. I like Pittman
Pittman.
above everyone else. I'm trying to think.
But he gotta find a way to get Judy in the
Yeah, and I
game,
don't say
man.
if Judy is
He
back,
gotta find a way to get Judy in the
it's
game, man.
between Pittman and Judy to me. Uh, I don't think you can really go wrong either way.
Yeah, you gotta find. I'm sorry, man. You gotta find a way to get Judy in the game, man. I'm sorry. You got. Can I? Sure,
But
yes. Can I see your lineup for this week, if you don't mind? Because I want to see if I can squeeze
you
Judy in
want
that
to
lineup,
score?
man. Judy got to be in that lineup,
Well,
man.
you can make Judy the pick over Michael Pittman
No,
if you
because
want. You know,
no, because Pittman playing well though, man. You can't take Pittman out either. So
you're hoping that somebody else in the lineup
yeah,
that can get moved out. We'll see what he says. Keith asks, what do you think about OJ Howard to Buffalo? Because Dawson Knox is hurt. You like OJ Howard to Buffalo?
I don't think they're gonna do it because Grunk's still hurt.
Not, you can't just rely on Cameron Brake.
Cameron Brake now. I think OJ Howard's a younger, better version of Grunk. So not as the same talent wise, but
Right.
he's younger. He can move around a little bit better than Cameron Brake. I don't think they trade OJ Howard just because of the fact that Grunk Grunt injuries are real, bro. Like they're not like
Yeah.
he got like lung issues and all types of stuff going on. I don't think he. No, I think they keep OJ Howard. So I don't know. Dawson Knox only out for like three
Yeah.
weeks. So
I would
he said,
love to see OJ Howard on a different team because how
"I
many years
would."
have we been waiting to see OJ? Because OJ Howard's been the promise of the next great tight end for 3-4 years, maybe, and it hasn't worked out. I would love to see him somewhere else just to see if he is good as advertised. But yeah,
So he sent the lineup,
yeah.
and he got Joe Barrow, Debo, Deontay Johnson, Eckler, Aaron Jones.
I don't put Judy over Debo the way Debo's been playing, or
No,
Deontay Johnson because he's the number one guy that Roethlisberger looks for. Let's see, Burrow,
ooh,
Debo, Deontay, Eckler. This is a good team, by the way.
yeah. I'm trying to
Higby,
figure out how to
whoever
get him in
flex,
there.
y'all tell me.
Dude.
Can you list Jerry Judy as a tight end? There you go. Then you put Higby out.
Lord,
Right.
man,
Yeah. That's a tough choice there.
that's tough. I mean, honestly, look, it's up to you, but I would say either Pittman, Judy, or Mitchell,
Yeah.
based on matchup. If you're going matchup this week, Judy got Washington, Mitchell got Chicago. Pittman just Pittman. Pittman gonna get work. Either three of them are good. So basically, it's more on preference for you. So that's what I would do.
I'm
Come on.
I'm a firm believer in riding the hot guy, and I think I said like a billion times this year. When guys come off injury, unless they're really that special dude, I like to see the first game. So I'm gonna side with Pittman, but like I said, I don't think you can really go too badly with him or Jerry Judy. Um, do you see the Broncos throwing a lot against the Washington? The Washington defense has not been good. So
That's what I'm telling
yeah,
you. Judy's coming back. Bridgewater's back healthy. Bridgewater was his top target literally was Judy before he got hurt. I'm just saying, man, like you can't take him out. You can't take none of those guys out of the lineup.
right.
But it's just tough though, man.
Yeah.
It's tough to try to pick between those. Let's just take Mitchell out. Take Mitchell and
I don't play Mitchell because if anyone's going to succumb to the defense they're facing, I think it's Mitchell.
yeah. So
For me, it's Pittman or Judy.
So what I can tell you to do is flip a coin, and you go from there. Because between Judy and Pittman are the ones you would
Yeah.
go for.
I say this. That Colts Titans game is going to be really interesting. I can't wait to watch that one. So
Wow.
we'll see how it goes. But thanks for the question. We appreciate it. We hope we help. I'm going to be looking at Judy and Pittman stats to see who actually does better. Because that's a good one. That's a good show. But you have a great team there. You're looking at.
You do.
I see Mike Andrews is on by. So yeah, got to go. So we had a Higby question earlier. Hopefully he gets that touchdown for those that need Tyler Higby to perform this week.
Yeah.
Hey, before we head on out, underrated player. Who's the person that got drafted very late in the draft that's been a stud this first half of the season?
Cordell Patterson.
It's like this.
mean,
the first thing that popped in my head, and I hate him because we
I
were
mean,
both
that's
big
obvious.
on Mike Davis. Here's the crazy part. Like I said, I look at average draft position. I had a few names up here, and they were all wide receivers. Cordell Patterson is a running back who's really a wide receiver. So it was Cordell Patterson, Mike Williams, and Marquise Brown. Talk about average draft positions. Mike Williams was drafted 151st. Marquise Brown 141st. So these are your last picks. Where was Cordell Patterson's average draft position? Didn't exist. He was completely undrafted. Wayne Gallman had a higher draft position at 215 than Cordell Patterson did, And Cordell Patterson is right now is a top 10 running back. So if you got him that first week off buys, because I know you don't lie to me and say you drafted him. If you picked him up, he has been paying dividends this year.
Yeah, nobody drafted him.
You didn't draft him. Nobody did.
He got picked up after the first weekend, but
Yeah.
definitely nobody drafted him. And if you did, you must do something that nobody else knew. Because
if you drafted Cordell Patterson, he's your cousin.
He ain't lying, because he must have been telling you some secrets that been going on in training camp.
Like,
because Mike Davis was being pumped up so hard in Atlanta that he was definitely the man, 3-down back, and I took the bait, and I dropped Mike. I dropped Mike.
I saw
Davis
you drop Mike Davis in the league this year. And the preseason me wanted to pick him up. I was like, nah, I'm good, because I'm stuck with Mike Davis in one of my in my Superflex league, and I want to drop him, but there's literally no one I can replace him with. So I'm like,
I picked him up. I dropped him, and I picked up my boy Michael Carter from the Jets. So
Michael Carter is not available in my leagues. Otherwise, I would have done the same. So I'm like, guess I'm gonna have Mike Davis eating up space on my bench, because there's literally no one left out there to replace. This is a 12-team league, and it's like Mike Davis disappointed me. So I'm glad I didn't draft him high. That's the one, I guess, positive about Mike Davis. He didn't go in the early rounds of the draft, but the fact that I drafted him at all is just annoying.
He's been such a disappointment, man. Look, I had him in all 6 leagues. I know 5 leagues. I had him in 5 leagues out of 6. Keith took one of them. He took Mike Davis from me in 1 league. Right. So, and I was like, yo, Mike Davis about to go off. You know, I hyped Mike Davis up all summer.
We were both guilty of that.
And he didn't do anything. He was terrible. So it is what it is. You got your picks. That's bad. But I recovered with Mike Carter. I appreciate Justin giving me the info on Mike Carter, but I already know about it. But I appreciate it. I do. My guy.
What about the opposite question? A guy that you drafted high that sucks.
Ooh.
And feel free to play along, those in the audience. Tell us the pick that you got out of nowhere and doing surprise numbers, or the guy who you wasted your first pick on.
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson was the first name that popped in my head on that too.
Yeah, Allen Robinson, and it's not even his fault, honestly.
It's not completely his fault.
It's not completely his fault, because he can't throw himself the football, so it's not his fault. And Justin Fields is learning, can't get him the ball, but it's play calling. If he's your number one guy,
you find a way to get the ball in his hands, right? So. And that's why Matt Nagy sucks. But Allen Robinson, the thing that really gets me about it is Justin Fields is a rookie, and admittedly, he's not played well. But this is a guy who had Nick Foles and Mitch Trubisky as his quarterbacks, and he still put up wide receiver 2 numbers at the least, if not wide receiver 1. And he's like nothing in this offense. And I'm with you. I think you find a way to get the ball in the hands of your best player. Run screens, end rounds, do something. The guy, Allen Robinson, is too good to not have. So he only has 250 yards right now receiving. 1 touchdown. This is the guy who was going in like the 3rd or 4th round of.
You got Montgomery, who you can run RPOs with Montgomery.
Yeah.
To get him the ball,
Well, you don't have Montgomery right now.
Well, I'm saying when you have Montgomery,
when he comes back, you'll have him.
Yeah, you can. But they had him in the beginning of the season, so that's not an excuse because you can run RPOs to get him the ball. You can run play action to get him the ball.
There's just
coaching, man.
There's no excuse for this atrocity, I will call it.
Definitely coaches.
Another name that popped in my head very early, along with Allen Robinson, the guy that I said was going to be the number 1 overall receiver this year, Calvin Ridley. I might have gotten that wrong. So Calvin Ridley was drafted. His average draft position was 21. So this is like a 2nd round guy that for a lot of people. He is the around 41 to 45 ranked wide receiver, not player, wide receiver. He's been he missed 1 game because of a personal issue, but only 281 yards. I'm hoping, because Matt Ryan is reliable for throwing over 4,000 yards, and he's still on pace to do that. Calvin Ridley's going to get some of that love, and I think he'll be better in the second half. But if you drafted Calvin Ridley, you pretty much wasted that pick.
Now, do you think he fell into that Juju syndrome?
A lot.
Juju,
Right,
yeah.
with Julio Jones gone.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Kyle Pitts would have been enough, but Kyle Pitts is only now just getting started. And so the fact that Kyle Pitts is getting better, I'm hoping is going to make Calvin Ridley better.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll help you with that. But yes, most random guess, I did say Calvin Ridley was no, he's not been. But he's going to get better. He can't be worse in the second half of the season.
He can't be. I hope he does better because, I mean, he only makes Matt Ryan better. But like you say, what Pitts actually playing to the level that we expect,
Right.
that should open up. And, I mean, if you think about it, Russell Gage got to step up too. If Russell Gage can step up and kind of bring a little life to this offense on the other end, because he's going to get double teamed because the second receiver is not great or even good. So that's going to cause them to roll that safety over the top anyway because he's a speedster. So Russell Gage got to do his part too, just like Pitts is doing his part. Running game too, but the running game is still doing good. But it's Gage who has to take that second corner and abuse most of those corners. So yeah. That's all I got, man.
That's what you got. You want to do any you already did some Kyle Shanahan and bashing, so you good.
I don't want to.
You got it out your system. You ready to go? What are your 49ers going to? They're going to beat the. Since we're giving away a lot of the 40-second play card anyway, y'all going to beat the Bears?
I mean, this might well do it live if we really wanted to. Jeez. I hope we beat the Bears. I'm always going to pick my boys, but
stay tuned for Saturday.
It's time, man. It's time, man. Lord, it's time. It's time,
all right.
man.
Well, that's all I got here. So, hey, thanks again, everybody, for your comments. Thanks for viewing, spending your time with us. Hey, hit like, hit subscribe. Watch us on Saturday, 40-second play clock. We're going to go over every single game, and I'm going to tell you who to play. I'm going to tell you which teams are going to win, and Rodney's going to do the same, but he's going to get less games correct than I will, because that's how we do.
Well, I only get less games right because I pick my team because I like my team. But
hey, I've been picking the Raiders surprisingly for the past 2 weeks. So
well, we know like last year you weren't picking the Raiders that much last year. I'm not gonna pick against my boys because I believe in my boys, so I'm just loyal to that point.
I am less loyal than Rodney is. I would pick against the Raiders in a heartbeat.
Well, I'm not that disloyal, bro. I'm loyal on no way. So it's cool. I'm good with that. But you know my saying. Look, man, we here. We ain't going nowhere. People, hey, we trying to reach 100, man. Let's get to 100. Tell your friends,
tell your family, gather everybody around and watch R&J Fantasy Football Talk.
Exactly. We here, man. We just trying to give y'all a good show and make sure y'all have some, get some points and win some championships. Let us know, man, like what y'all doing. If y'all winning y'all leagues, let us know.
Yeah, appreciate it. And
all right, appreciate it.
See y'all again this same time next week. Peace out.
All right.